The story of the Redpaths is one of tragedy and sorrow, focused around the Battle of Darrowshire that occurred in the Eastern Plaguelands, sometime during the Third War. This video will focus on the quest line we are taken through to learn more about what happened to the family and how we could bring their spirits to rest. One of the more memorable parts is your interaction with Pamela Redpath, the youngest daughter of Joseph Redpath, and her request that you find her lost doll. This quest stood out to me personally because historically there are so many stories about cursed, creepy, and haunted dolls. Anytime a doll or a young child is involved in some sort of scary story, it always creeps me out. Let's be real here. Dolls and young kids can be terrifying in scary stories. So let's explore the quest line surrounding the Redpaths, their tragic history, and how you can bring redemption to the family. Joseph Redpath was killed during the Battle of Darrowshire. His spirit was corrupted by Marduk Blackpool and took new shape, spreading great evil throughout Lordaeron. At Garen's Withering east of Anderhall, the corrupted Redpath was finally defeated by Alliance forces. His shield still rests near the barn of the plagued farmstead, and Scourge minions are still drawn to the memory of its evil. You could start your journey by either speaking to Marlene or Jessica Redpath. Both ask you to find Pamela Redpath in Darrowshire. Let's start with Jessica, who's found in Everlook of Winterspring. She says, "I fled Lordaeron during the Great War, and was lucky enough to escape before the Scourge swept through my homeland and turned it into a plagued nightmare. I was lucky, but my family was not. I fear that they were all killed during the Battle of Darrowshire. Darrowshire is a village in the Eastern Kingdoms, nestled in the southern hills of what is now the Eastern Plaguelands. Will you go there and search for my family? I miss them so much, especially my little sister Pamela. Please, find her for me." Alternatively, you could speak to Marlene Redpath, who's a ghost located inside an old inn between the ruins of Anderhall and Chillwind Camp of the Western Plaguelands. Marlene is on the second floor. "So many of us died in the Battle of Darrowshire. So many died, and worse. When the battle began, I hid my niece Pamela, and I do not know what happened to her. I am but a wandering spirit, but my heart still longs to know Pamela's fate. Please, will you go to Darrowshire and search for her? It is to the east, beyond Garen's Withering." Now it's time to find Pamela. Head east of Garen's Withering of the Western Plaguelands to step foot into the Eastern Plaguelands. Travel along the road until you reach a fork south into Darrowshire. Enter the abandoned town and follow the main path until you find little Pamela. Speak with her. If you have Marlene's quest, she'll say, "Hello, I'm Pamela. What's your name?" Or if you have Jessica's quest, she'll say, "Where is my sister Jessica? She left so long ago, when I was just a little girl. She cried so much when she went away. I don't know why she cried. Maybe she fell and hit her toe. When Jessica was here, we used to play games and dance and pick pretty flowers around the house. And sometimes we'd hide when we saw Daddy coming home, then jump out and surprise him. Come back, Jessica. If you come back, then maybe Daddy will too, and we could all play together again." Speak to Pamela again, and she'll ask you to find her lost doll. "My Auntie Marlene told me to stay here in our house because my father had to go out and fight. My father's the bravest man in the whole world, but I've been here for a long time and he hasn't come home. Sometimes bad people come and whisper to me, and I want my dad to make them go away. But he's not here. And sometimes when it gets dark, I want to play with my doll, but I can't because I left it in the town. Will you find my doll for me?" You then search the ruins of Darrowshire to collect pieces of Pamela's doll. Once you find all three pieces, the head, the left side, and the right side, you can combine them to form the lost doll. But be wary, there are spirits at unrest who will try to attack you for claiming the doll parts. Return to Pamela once you've completed your objective. "You found it! You found my doll! Oh, thank you!" Pamela will then send you on 2 more quests. The first one, Auntie Marlene, asks that you find her aunt. "Oh, I'm so lonely. Where is my family? Auntie Marlene told me to stay here, but then she left and never came back. And my dad. Have you seen him? Maybe Auntie Marlene knows where he is. She lives near Anderhall, in a house to the south. I think it was on a hill. She said it was on a hill. Please, you're my new friend. Will you talk to Auntie for me? She'll also ask about her Uncle Carlin as well. Sometimes when it's nighttime, I could hear my Uncle Carlin crying. It sounds like he's far away, to the east. I hope he's not crying for me. Will you find my uncle and tell him I'm all right? If you find him, say I'm waiting for him, and I want to hear the story he used to tell. The one about the rabbits and the berry jam. That story's so funny. Now, let's find Auntie Marlene. You saw Pamela? How is she? Is she alive? Oh no, poor Pamela. She was so young, such a happy child. She doesn't know what happened to her father, does she? My brother, Joseph? No, she couldn't understand what happened to Joseph. And even if she could, I don't have the heart to tell her. I wish Joseph could be again with his daughter, but it cannot be so. His soul was so twisted by the scourge, and he became a monster. But perhaps we could change his fate. Search the graves outside for Joseph's monument. His body's not there, for it was trampled and destroyed years ago. But under the monument is his wedding ring. Take that ring to Chromie, a strange gnome with very strange powers. Chromie is staying in the ruined inn at the northwest corner of Anderhall. Just outside the house in the graveyard, you'll find Joseph's ring. Deliver it to Chromie, who is on the second floor of the inn, northwest of Anderhall.
What is this, a wedding ring? Let me see. Ah, this ring was once the hand of a great man, but there is much tragedy in that man's past. Are you here to help him? It's far too late for him now, but perhaps we could help him in the past. To save Joseph Redpath, we must first discover his past. We can learn this in the Annals of Darrowshire, a book held in the City Hall of Anderhall. Bring me that book. We can then learn Joseph's fate, and with luck, change it.
Battle through the Scourge to enter the town hall in the ruins of Anderhall. You'll find many books on the ground. Once you find the correct one, you can return to Chromie. You return back to Chromie.
Well done, you found it. Did you read it? Is Joseph Redpath mentioned? If he is, then perhaps we can save him. Ah, the Annals of Darrowshire tell a very unsettling tale. It says that during that battle, Joseph Redpath was corrupted and joined the ranks of the Scourge. He then betrayed the defenders of Darrowshire. That is an ill fate. If we can, we should try to change that fate, don't you think?
Like Pamela, Chromie will also send you to seek out Uncle Carlin.
The Annals of Darrowshire, through my magic, has gained pages at its end, and now it extends its history beyond the battle. One of the extra passages tells of another Redpath, Carlin, who survived Joseph's betrayal. Carlin's now in the Plaguelands to the east, at Light's Hope Chapel. Take the book and speak with him.
Head to Light's Hope Chapel in the eastern Plaguelands. There, you'll find Uncle Carlin among other members of the Argent Dawn. What is this book, the Annals of Darrowshire? That was my home before this war. My home before the battle that destroyed it. Why did you bring me this book? But look here, at the end there are pages that tell tales of the days beyond the battle. Here's a passage about me, and one about my brother Joseph. Is this book true? We must discover the truth. The Annals of Darrowshire tells of the villains of that battle. It tells how the ghoul lord Horgus the Ravager was destroyed by Alliance forces during the battle. His body was cast into a lake northwest of Corrin's Crossing, and his skull remains there. Marduk the Black was never defeated, but his fabled sword was shattered and lost. It lies at the bottom of the gorge west of Corrin's Crossing. Retrieve these items. I know not why, but I am certain their fate lies with you. You also mentioned that you've seen his niece Pamela. You've seen Pamela? She's alive? She's dead? No. Oh, Pamela. Why does your spirit still suffer in this world? Why are you perished while fortune keeps me alive? In an instant I would switch places with you and wander dead, Darrowshire, a ghost and alone. But this news cannot change fate. Thank you. Now my duty to revenge, burns hot as ever. Uncle Carlin will send you on a few quests to retrieve lost relics from the Battle of Darrowshire for Chromie, as well as avenge some of the lost souls from the last night of Darrowshire. Once you return to Carlin, you found them. Wonderful. Although I don't fully understand how they could help us, I feel their power, and I know in my bones that they are linked to my home village of Darrowshire. You have gathered many relics of the Battle of Darrowshire. Each time you returned with more, my heart yearned for my village, yearned to protect it from its fate. I know that cannot be, but Chromie, that strange gnome in Anderhall, tells me it's possible. She says you could save Darrowshire. She asked me to gather together the relics, and to have you bring them to her. She said that she awaits you in the ruined inn of Anderhall. Return back to Chromie in the ruins of Anderhall with the bundle of relics you received from Uncle Carlin.
Ah, yes, there they are. Together they weave a powerful spell, one that will raise the spirits of Darrowshire. With that spell and a little luck, we can save Joseph Redpath. Now, you will take part in the Battle of Darrowshire, and you will save Joseph Redpath. Place this bundle relic in the Darrowshire town square, and the spirits of Darrowshire will rise. Join their battle and assure that these two things come to pass. Davil must survive beyond the death of Horgus, and Redpath must survive to be corrupted, then defeated. After defeating the corrupted Redpath, his spirit will be saved. Speak with him, and then return to his daughter Pamela.
The fighting is over! I heard my daddy whisper to me. He scared away all the ghosts, and he said he's coming home. I'm so happy. He said I should come welcome you if you came to our house. So I made some tea. I hope you like lots of sugar. Daddy told me to give you this key. He said it opens up a chest out back behind the house. He also wanted me to thank you. Did you do a favor for him? Did you tell him you found my doll? Well, here's the key, and thank you. Thank you. You're very nice. You head out back behind the house. The chest is old and covered in grime. The key fits in the lock, and the chest opens. After you finish the chain and are successful with the Battle of Darrowshire, if you hang out for a bit behind the ruined house, you'll witness a short scene. After a few minutes, you'll see Joseph Redpath slowly walk to his home, and little Pamela will come out to greet him. She'll tell him that she's got her doll back, and she will ask him to play, seeming really happy that her father's back. Joseph will tell her that he's really happy to see her too. It's a very bittersweet, emotional ending to this questline. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. This was the second video in my series of spooky videos that are releasing in October. So be sure to check out the previous episode where I cover the full story of the legend of Stalvan. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube, and if you're looking for ways to support the channel, please check out my Patreon at patreon.com/WarcraftBrew. Huge shout out to all of my current supporting patrons who enable me to create this really fun content that I love doing on a daily basis. Thank you so much. You can also follow me on all of my socials, which are listed in the description of this video. As I stated in the beginning, I will be releasing more videos for the rest of the month, so be sure to stay tuned for the next one. Please let me know what you thought of this video, I really do hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.